And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Eliot Shorr-Parks. I'm Tucker Bagley, reacting to the first half of Eagles-Packers wildcard weekend. Eagles jump off to a great start, probably as good a start as you could hope, right? When you recover a fumble on the opening kickoff, Jahan Dotson gets a touchdown on the third play of that drive. The Eagles are off and running. Still lead 10-0. Second quarter, probably a different story. The defense has played well. They forced 3 turnovers as a whole. But, Elliot, what have you seen so far from the Eagles through 30 minutes?
Yeah, I hate to use this comparison, but it feels a little bit like that Tampa championship game from '02, where they come right out and it's like the crowd is going crazy. One of the best crowds I've seen at an Eagles game in a really long time. They definitely brought it at the beginning of the game. You get the early touchdown, you go up, you get the field goal, you go up 10-0. I thought what really hurt them was after that touchdown, they had 3 possessions where the defense was dominating, getting turnovers. The Packers couldn't get anything going, and they only get 3 points from those 3 possessions. I thought they had a real chance there, much like that Tampa game in '02, to go up way more. So the good news is I would be very surprised, knock on wood, if this team loses the game. It still feels like they have really good control of it. They should definitely be up more for sure. We'll talk about Jalen in a second, but it just feels like they blew a chance to be up 17-0. I mean, I know the Packers missed a field goal, so really it should be 10-3 in a 1 possession game. They get the ball first coming out of the half, so an outstanding first few minutes, but certainly cooled off as it went on.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 drives, the first quarter, really, the Eagles' offense played well. Jalen Hurts was sharp. I think he was 6 for his first 6, went 0 for 7
Yep.
in the second quarter. And you kind of just look at their drives, right? They had 3 decent drives in the first quarter. They had that short touchdown drive. They drove for a field goal at the end of that quarter. Jake Elliott made a 38-yarder. And then in the second quarter, you mentioned they got the ball on 2 interceptions and a missed field goal. They had 3 prime opportunities to really take a stranglehold of this game, and they had 7 total yards between those 3 drives. I mean, they just couldn't move the ball at all. The Packers seem to be blitzing a little bit more than they were earlier in the game, and that
Yeah,
seems to have turned off Hurts.
two back-to-back blitzes that worked really well. I didn't love the play call on third down with the little swing pass to Saquon. Felt like that was kind of a give-up play. I feel like there's been 1 or 2 play calls in this game so far that I haven't loved. But outside of that, so I think Jalen. Let's talk about Jalen for a minute. First possession, the touchdown play I thought was unbelievable. It reminded me a lot of Lamar Jackson's touchdown from last night, where now he didn't dance around in the pocket as much, but he sits in the pocket, excellent protection, waits for the play to develop, really waits longer than for the play to develop because there's no way Jahan Dotson was the first read on that play, delivers a perfect pass. So I thought Jalen obviously got off to a good start. He's made some really nice plays with his legs. He had that design running play up the middle where he slid at the end of it. That was really good, but he's also missed a few plays here that are a bit uncharacteristic. Right there at the end of the half, that throw to A.J. Brown that he basically pegs right into the ground, a la Donovan McNabb. That's a rare miss by him. It feels like at times there's been guys open that he's not hitting. Obviously, that's just my view from the press box, but I just think they should have more. They should have more points than they have. That's really as simple as you can say. Now, the good news is the defense is playing so well, it might not matter. I've not been impressed with Jordan Love so far. The defense is doing a great job with him. Nolan Smith has been outstanding. Obviously, the 2 turnovers. The Nakobe Dean loss is a big one, though. Like, a big point to stopping this Packers offense is stopping the running game, and Nakobe's a really big part of that. Obviously, carted off the field, quickly ruled out with a knee injury. And yeah, not doesn't look good for Nakobe. That'll probably be more of a Monday pod topic, unfortunately. But yeah, the defense is playing so well. It's hard for me to envision the Packers getting over 17 points. I think the Eagles are about 10, 13 points away from putting this thing away. I don't think the Packers will get close to 20, but they have to get there, and they should have gotten there already. They should have more points. So Jalen's gonna have to be better in the second half. I thought Saquon Barkley looked good running the ball. Yeah, I thought right from the jump he ran like angry. He looked refreshed. He looked like every carry he wanted to take to the house. But ultimately, what do they have so far? I don't have the stats in front of me, but it feels like they don't have a ton of rushing yards with Saquon. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I mean,
Barkley right now, he's got 9 carries for 58 yards. Hurts is 2 for
that's pretty
23.
good.
Kenny Gainwell has 2 for 8. And you flip that to the other side in that Packers offense, which coming into the week, the big thing really with that offense was, can you stop Josh Jacobs? And they've done that. He has 10
Yep.
carries for 25 yards. Jordan Love's 9 of 15 for 70 yards, but he has those 2 interceptions. I mean, that first quarter felt like the Eagles kind of answered all the questions we had about them, right? The special teams and Jake Elliott being able to kick. Is Jalen Hurts going to be rusty? And through 15 minutes, all those questions were passed with flying colors, and now you
Yeah.
kind of look at the second quarter, and maybe you feel a little bit more, a little bit more trepidation as you look down
I
the barrel of the
actually
second half.
I actually have a lot more confidence. Look, the Eagles certainly deserve confidence. The defense is playing outstanding. So I have confidence in the Eagles defense. But let's also call it like it is. Jordan Love has been awful so far. He really is not like, I know there was talks in Green Bay about firing Matt LaFleur if they lose this game, and they're not going to get rid of Jordan Love. They just paid him. He's not been good. That interception to Zach Bond threw it literally right to him. The interception by Darius Slay was an outstanding play to not only keep up with that guy at 34 years old, but to make a play on it. Now, Jordan Love did kind of drop it right in his lap, but to hold on to it, that was a huge play. I mean, to already have forced 3 turnovers and to give up 0 points and only be up 10, and because of a missed field goal, like it's weird. You said that all the questions they had were passed with flying colors, and to a certain extent, you're right, like they were. But man, the stats kind of, it feels like they should just be up way more. That's really the main kind of thought I have here at the Linc at halftime. Like, I think they're going to win the game. I feel confident that they're going to win the game, but they're just keeping it closer than I think it should be based off of how they're kind of dominating the Packers.
Yeah, I think before the McManus field goal, I kind of had the thought like, wow, like as much as the Eagles have dominated this game, if they score here, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, it's a one possession game, and it
Yeah.
feels like it should be much more than that. I think right now the great equalizer, the Eagles are just 1 of 6 on third down. For someone like Jalen Hurts, who has kind of made his career on being able to run for third down, on being able to pick up easy third down completions, he just hasn't been able to do that. Even some of his completions,
Mhm.
he had to throw to Grant Calcaterra, where he made an unbelievable catch, but if he puts it on the numbers, maybe he turns upfield in the game more than 3 or 4 yards. So I
Let
think
me
it really comes down offensively. Just can he be sharper? You mentioned Darius Slay. Did he come back in by the end of the second half?
It
I know
looked
they
like he was
said.
going to come back in. I saw him on the sideline getting worked on. I don't remember. I don't remember if he did go in, to be honest. I have a question for you and for the chat, actually. I'm curious how they feel about it. The decision to punt there at the end of the half. So I think it was like a 60-yard field goal, which is obviously long. I know Jake Elliott's not kicked it well this year. I was a little surprised, and I know he was going to go for it on 4th and 4. They get flagged for a false start, which to me looks like a bad call. I thought that was going to be on the Packers, but then you get to 4th and 9. I don't know. That felt like we spent so much time this week talking about Jake Elliott territory. The 4th and 4 with 20 something seconds left feels like Jake Elliott territory. I thought that was a little interesting. He went for that there, but then once you don't get that, I don't know. 2 years ago, does he kick a 62-yarder with Jake Elliott? I know that's far, obviously, but like punting, I can't just the visual of him punting from his own 39 feels so off base for Nick Sirianni. What'd you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying to punt it, and I think for Nick Sirianni, probably punting is an out of character move. But if you also have to look at how the offenses looked, right? We just mentioned they had
Yeah.
7 total yards in their previous 3 drives. They weren't necessarily moving the ball with ease, and even though the defense has shown up, and I don't know if you would necessarily be confident in Jordan Love's ability to move them, 20 plus or 30 yards to get them in position for another Brandon McManus field goal. I just think you're fine taking the ball, putting the air out of it, making them kneel on it, and then you go into halftime with a 10-0 lead and with a chance to kind of regroup and not give them a shot for momentum. I agree. It's a somewhat conservative play, but I
Yeah, I
think
thought it
where
was
they are
conservative.
and how they played in the second quarter, I think it probably warranted that.
Yeah, I think ultimately I'm okay with it because again, you get the Packers enter 2 or 3 plays away from getting a field goal attempt. It just visually looked very weird to me to watch them punting from so close. I mean, from the 39. So yeah, just thought it was an interesting kind of. We spent so much time talking about it on the pregame as well. Like, I felt like that was maybe a give Jake a shot chance.
Yeah, I mean, they had 2 punts from Green Bay territory, right? Their punt in the first
Yeah.
quarter, I think, was the 47,
Yep.
which is a little closer to midfield, not necessarily a field goal situation, but they've had chances to maybe be a little bit more aggressive and have taken a more conservative route. So that'll do it for Elliot and myself. Stay tuned. Elliot and James will be live here on our YouTube channel. They'll be live on X immediately following the game, doing a Go Birds
Yes, sir.
post-game show, reacting to everything that happened in the first half, everything that we'll see in the next 30 minutes of the game. Please stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff.
You might kind